yes, this is going to be the topic that I am going to organically transition into. To get the Sarah J conversation started, are the ladies on the panel aware of what happened? Chrissy got blamed, and Sarah walked off. Uh, she didn't walk off Friday Night Tights. They would never have her. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? She was on
I
my
don't know that she would ever go
Why?
on.
That's the last person they'd ever book on FNT. Sarah J. To give context to this, about 2 years ago on my show on Compound Media called Wet Spot, and I created it with the idea that I wanted it to be kind of like how Howard Stern was before he got really woke and really gay and just started kissing asses of the elites and just stopped being funny, etc. And I was like, well, I want this show. I'm going to call it The Wet Spot. I want it to be fun. And I've always booked a mixture of comedians, girls and guys from the adult industry, but also the occasional political person, author, really whoever, like whoever's in New York that's kind of interesting or people that have been canceled. Um, and it's fun, and sometimes we'll do, like, a random, remote sight gag. We had a motor bunny sent to the studio. Sometimes people will get on that for a gag, and we've had, like, eating contests and dating win a date with contests. So it's not a serious program, okay? So, this girl, Sarah J., who is in the adult film industry, came on the show along with a bunch of other guests. It's usually a panel of 3 or more guests, and we have audience, sitting in. We have a bunch of well, now I call them the bleacher creatures. They're kind of like it's when you feed a raccoon and it keeps coming back or a stray cat. That's kind of what a lot of my fans are now. I love them and I can't keep them away. So there's fans that hang out in the audience, but sometimes other comedians, other people that we kind of know in this world will come and hang out in the audience as well. So this was 2 years ago. So I had Jim Stansel on, who's sort of like a comedic character type presence. I wouldn't say has he done stand up? Maybe, but he totally could if he wanted to. Sarah J was on. Also, maybe I'll just play this clip. Um, because this and I'm so anyway, of course, this other podcast hosted by this guy Dante Nero. And this happened 2 years ago. So the fact that Dante is having Sarah J on to talk about something that happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's
It's kind of
crazy.
strange because, like, really, she hasn't done anything interesting in 2 years. That this is what you need to come on and talk to her
I didn't
about.
realize it was 2 years. That's insane, 2
Yeah, it was in
years?
20. It was in
Nothing
2022.
else exciting has happened in her life ever.
It
Damn.
after it was either right at I think it was right after the first Content House in the Poconos.
Oh,
And
lord.
so and they'll play it on this clip as well, but basically what happened is she was on, and then Gino Bisconti, who is a regular on Compound Media, he has his own show, Monday through Thursdays. He called into my show, and not any of the guests, but referred to Kevin Brennan, who is another comedian who was sitting and hanging out in the audience, called him the N-word, and, the call was directed at him, not at Sarah, not at any of the other guests. It was kind of just like, all right, he's calling to yell at his friend or coworker or whatever. And so he says it a few times and it's like it's a little awkward, but I'm sort of just all right, this is probably leading to something hilarious. We'll see where it goes. And Sarah gets so upset or wants to make it seem like she's so upset that she storms off the show. She can't bear to sit and listen to someone saying the N word when meanwhile, Sarah J is one of the biggest interracial porn stars there is. Her audience is large, like, she does a lot of interracial porn, so you can imagine what her main customer base demographic is, right? So which is strange because if you watch her content, like she's happy to scream the N word into the face of a guy who's railing her on camera, but God forbid
Yeah.
somebody say the N word to not even her, but somebody else on the show. So it seems a bit when it comes to free speech, you can't really be like, well, some people have freedom of speech, but other people don't. You can't just say, oh, well, Sarah's like an ally. She lets all these black guys fuck her. So she's allowed to say the N word, but not Gino Bisconti, who
Well,
has a show
I
on
grew up
Comp-
in the hood, like the real hood, and all the black people that I was friends with used to call me the N-word with the hard R all the time. Like they would just say it all the time and
Well,
call
I
me
say it
that.
all the time, but that's because I'm racist. So
I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
and then I get shit because of what I don't know what I was supposed to do. Tell a grown man what they can
Yeah.
and can't say.
Like,
Okay.
you didn't say
Well,
it.
that's gonna be a great look. No, and I also just thought he'll probably make a point or not. Whatever. It's a fucking phone call. So I'm gonna play and like and then here's Dante Nero, who has not been relevant since Patrice O'Neal died and has gained about 100 pounds since
Yeah, is that
then.
her?
This is
And
her
that
down on the bottom here, and this is another
Oh
guy,
my
Harry.
god. I thought that was a
Uh,
grandma or something. That's her?
well, Father Time stops for no
Oh
man.
my lord.
Okay.
It doesn't even look the same.
So I'm gonna play a little bit of this. I don't recall when it gets into the part talking about my show, but it's like I really don't appreciate like that we're gonna call this a whole racist podcast just because of one you know what I mean? If I was on a show and someone was shitting on people who are for medical freedom or for free speech or anti-woke, if someone was shitting on those people, I would not
Mhm.
walk away, even though you could say that's my prime demographic, that's my customer base or whatever. If I'm gonna make a similar argument, I'd be like, oh, let's hear this person out, and then we'll talk about why they're wrong.
Yeah.
So, and I have, oh my goodness, we have Gino popping on just as a special guest to give some color, if you will, to this whole
Color.
situation. Gino is
I will give some colored commentary. How am I?
here to give color. I don't know, Gino, if you heard my description of what happened leading up to this. I wanted to give
I
it
did.
context.
I did, because why would I be watching the Bills trailing by 3 against KC with 2 minutes left? But I actually
Oh God,
did.
I know, right?
Mhm.
Oh, please. I have no faith in football. We won't do that. Yes, and your description was just to make sure, because again, I don't want to ugly up this fucking esteemed, gorgeous, brilliant panel. Basically, Kevin Brennan, before he was an idiot, used to hang out, and just to start shit, he's like, Gino walked out on a tab, which I don't do.
Now, if you
I
don't know
think
Kevin Brennan, he's the less successful brother of Neil Brennan, who
Yes.
used to have a show on Compound Media, and then he would be a frequent guest, but he sort of sullied his relationships with just about everybody at this point.
Oof.
Yes. And the whole reason I did this is because it's too long a backstory, but if you know Compound Media, I do a joke with the N-word in it that I'm going to say is brilliant. I'm sorry, but dumb people, that you have two choices, and now more than ever, and it ties into race that's going to have lesbians who are wonderful people, and blacks who are great people, and women, whatever, flying planes for DEI, because they're scaring you with words, and intelligent people can poke fun at it, and dumb people hear a word and they're done. And so I got a lot of crap because literally it is said, Chrissy will back me up, especially by Kevin and these idiots, that I just go on stage, scream the N-word, and then to rousing applause, walk off and wait for my next gig.
That's what people who don't really know Gino Set very well, they like to blanket statement him, just like probably all of us have experienced, like, oh, you're a white supremacist, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe. The people that don't like Gino will go, oh, he just goes on stage and says the N-word. That's his whole stand-up. Which people who see him will know, okay, that's not really a fair description.
And now more than ever, we're the only safe place to really talk like this about what they're doing to us, and them being every politician and every elite, is to speak in the safety of a comedy club and make people think, because I'm tired of people like, oh, I'm on my period, and men are dogs and girls are cats. No one gives a fuck.
Gino's big thing, Gino's a big free speech guy, as am I. But Gino, to zoom out, Gino's biggest thing is words only have the power that you give them. If you let yourself be triggered by a word to the effect that it is affecting your peace, it's making you want to be violent, it's making you want to be destructive, it's making you act erratically, well, then that you've given that word too much power. And so
You've
Gino
given it all the power.
uses the N-word as an example of one of these words that people give way too much power to, because if it makes you act differently outside of yourself, well, like that's something you should take a look at.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really
Amen. I love that.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like, you know, and if you think about it, like the visceral reaction that people like normies have in the mainstream to words like that, they're being programmed to think that way because are they really offended by a word, or were they
No.
just told to be offended by the word? And
The second one.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's not actually visceral. What it is that they think they have to have a certain reaction or else they'll look racist.
Mhm.
And if they
Yeah.
don't have that reaction, then oh no, everybody's gonna think they're so bad. There's
Yeah, they're like falling in line, like
Yeah,
basically.
Not only that, it shuts down the conversation. It
Yep.
shuts down the conversation.
And that's
and the
why they
sec-
do it.
Yep. And the
Okay.
joke without telling it is literally that I lead into it just quick. I lead into it. I'm like, what God forgive me, what Chrissy says. Not to be confused with Keanu, who'll be with her in Austin and Lila, kidding, shameless plug.
Yes,
the
this
point is,
Thursday.
I say you could take words are like anything else. And if you were raised right by intelligent people, you were taught to use every word, every action, everything for good. You could take a hammer, build someone a house, great hammer, same hammer, kill someone, murder weapon. And then after you go through all that, you say the first person ever to say N-word, please. And I'm sorry I'm doing my act, but I'm just proving the point. The first person ever to say
He's way
N-word.
better live. Go
Right.
see him live.
Yeah, but I'm telling you the point, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to prove the point of it. The first person to say N-word, please, was Thomas Jefferson. Then you beat and say, and then you say it was the preferences of his eHarmony profile. And while every dumb comedian, which we're about to get to, which includes Kevin Brennan, says Gino's screaming the N-word, what I say after that is I say, if you laughed at that, great. You gave laughter, which we've proven the power of healing, to your soul, and you healed yourself. If not, you chose fear, which makes you sick, and you gave the power to the word. But they don't want us to talk like that. And dumb people like Kevin, who hate that word and said, I walked out on the tab, well, just have fun with them. I started screaming that word.
That's what started. Because
Sorry it took so long. Now we get to the center of the coordinate.
Slash rumor that you were walking out on tabs at Sullivan's, and then that's why you called in, because it was like an inside joke, really, and she kind of took it upon herself to be offended on something that had nothing to do with her.
Yeah, and that is what they do because she wanted to be the victim. And then the day later it comes up, which I'm sure we'll get to, where she's in a porno looking at a black guy screaming, fuck me, N-word, but she doesn't do the Thomas Jefferson joke. She just screams, fuck me, N-word.
Which someone watching that could be very offended.
Yes. Which
Like,
by
how
the
dare
way, I
you
can't
say that to this melanated individual. You know, you're both involved in this consensual coitus. I'm offended by that. You could be just as offended by watching her scream the N-word at a guy's face in a scene as someone overhearing you say it to Kevin Brennan on an inside joke.
Yeah.
You both have equal right to say those things.
Dude, there's girls that do porn like that will be like pick cotton N-word and throw cotton at them and stuff. It's like a whole thing. And it's always these white
I
girls.
actually would love to see
And I'm
that.
like, bro, what the fuck? It's so crazy. There's so much
You
of
want
it
to come
too. I'm
inside
like,
the house? You better fuck me.
yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah.
dude. It's like this YouTuber girl too, Shannon Rose. They like
Oh my
found her
God.
old shit and she was like doing that. And I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck is wrong with you? I would never do that. I just could not
Okay,
do that.
I'm gonna
So
play this. I think we've
fucked up.
set this up pretty thoroughly. Let me see, and I'm not sure how quickly they get to this.
Saw you on a podcast.
Which is why your friend Kevin Brennan is a lover.
And all these racist dudes, and they perpetuate this.
All these racist dudes. So out the gate, Dante
You
is
fucking hack that stole your title from Patrice, whose coattails you're riding. I said coattails, not vine swinging.
but out the
Piece of
gate,
shit cutting
we're
up now.
all racist dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that shows me you don't watch my show. You don't watch Don Jameson's show. You
No.
don't watch Morning. You
Is he
don't
gonna show her porn?
I
though?
hope not. Let's see if it's in this clip.
Kind of white supremacist thing.
Kevin, say what you said in the bar. Shouldn't vote and they're not people.
Look, Kevin's
And
laughing.
as
It's
soon
an
as the
inside
first
joke.
N-bomb hit,
Because then they'll know that you love that racist hater Kevin Brennan like I do.
And just like a lot of really disrespectful
Yeah.
things that were like not funny at all.
Disrespectful.
is
So she's
stupid.
feeling disrespected by something that has nothing to do with her.
That
You
she
hate-
says.
Like
Sorry,
you did
Sarah.
14 times.
Yes,
in that
you always
bar.
have people come
Say
on
it.
here and say
Kevin,
slurs.
let me tell you guys
No.
something.
Okay, cool.
Kevin
This is the first
said,
time.
No, he has a
I
show
got
at
to
2
tell you how
o'clock.
much
And by
I
the way, here's also Gigi Dior, good friend, one of
Oh
my
my gosh, that's
bridesmaids.
the same girl. I didn't even recognize her.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gigi's here. She's in the adult industry. I don't know if she's done interracial stuff, but maybe she has. She's sitting here good humored, not storming off, not stomping off.
And I can't really just sit there and entertain it.
We can blame Gino, and I'll pretend that I hate cunts as much as he
wow.
does. Uncancelable. I'll tell you what uncancelable is. It's not saying I've got to leave the show.
audience
It's not
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male. I think this is gonna be a good one.
It's like pathetic.
Give it up for Sarah J. Give it up for Sarah
He's
J.
gained a lot of weight,
Thank
Gino.
you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Come
Thank
and
you
take
so
over
much for having me
backstage.
on.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Returning
Oh.
guest, Sarah J. Yeah.
Oh look,
So
she got her
first of
a
all,
little pat on the back. Hey,
Oh, and
you're
she's
just
she's pushing her
person.
CBD at every turn. She's like, whether you're a racist or white supremacist, you too can buy my CBD products.
It's actually
Yeah.
called CBBD. Did you know that?
See, oh, CBBD. Oh, I get it. That's funny. All right, let me see if she goes into it.
I just want to say how dope you are. I saw you on a podcast. At Media is Anthony Camille and all these racist dudes, and they perpetuate this kind of white supremacist thing. And they were
Sure.
We
That's
perpetuate white supremacy. That is that not libelous? Like Jesus, fuck.
Do you know this guy, this podcaster?
I don't. I think he
Like, can we
knows who
message him
I
right
am.
now? Like,
I
can
think
you
I
watch
actually
a piece
have
of her
gone-
porn and ask her that? Like,
I think I've been
how
on
she's
his
like
show once.
calling these dudes the N word while
I've been on
banging
his
them.
show,
Like,
I
are you
think, once.
serious? And you're applauding her for what? Oh, you got up and walked away. Meanwhile, if you go on TikTok and post that hair, you will get fucking slammed. They will tell you that you're culturally appropriating them. And so she got all that shit in her hair. Like, she wants a fucking, oh, congratulations, you stuck up for black people. Like, shut up, dude. Please. I hate shit like that.
Yep.
I know, we
Like,
keep
stop
saying-
applauding
Actually in their
her. She
charter,
doesn't
by the way.
do
That's
it.
actually that's how
And
they.
as he pointed
watched
out, I've
it.
done countless sets with Dante Nero. Like we started basically the same time, like 2003, 2004. Used to hang out. He'd drive me home and shit, like because we lived in the same neighborhood. All this stuff, he's seen my act. And
Yeah.
you can have various comics like he would get mad when he had to go after him because like I can't follow that because it's racist. No, it's just funny. It's insightful. Stop it.
And, you know,
Imagine a
that's
black
what
guy
he's-
saying, I can't follow a guy that screams the N-word. You look
Yeah.
at his face. Fall off the wall, Humpty. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
And, you know,
exactly. I was
that's
like, he
what-
looks like a
that's what
potato.
Some of these
He looks like a
stand-up comics
friendly
do.
potato, but he's
This has
not.
happened with me. People who've come up with me, people who've come up with Gino. They especially like to poke their heads out if we're getting a little bit of like attention, viral attention, or things are going well. Like, oh, I knew them way back when. You always get somebody who knew you 10, 15 years ago, always has something to say about, wow, you've really changed. Oh my God, that Chrissy, that Gino, they're real racist. And it's like,
Mm.
dude, you were in an
Yeah.
improv class of mine 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But they like
And
to
he's
crawl
still
out of
doing the same
woodwork.
joke. Why is the bouncer doing stand-up? Stop it. You don't want to be funny. You want attention. Damn it. That's all it is.
I'm gonna keep playing this.
And soon as the first N bomb hit, Sarah, you could see it in her. I know you.
You can see it in your eyes that your customer base was getting upset with you.
Okay, Dante, just for a little clarity. So just to clear it up, she was on, I believe it was In Hot Water
No,
with Gino
Cool.
Bisconte, right?
Well,
Or no,
no,
wait. No, wait.
No,
It was
the girl. It was the girl.
Chrissy Meyer's
yes,
show.
the girl.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
like when
Gino
people pretend to not know who you are and they just say, the
My
girl.
Bisconte, who does another show on that network, was calling in, and then if he was dropping N-bombs or something.
The one I heard where was definitely M bomb.
Oh, it was definitely Emma. Okay.
Says white
And
Yeah,
then-
many.
Daddy is uncancelable, and everyone else is, which is why your friend Kevin Brennan is a f***ing lover. Kevin, say what you said in the bar. Shouldn't vote, and they're
And
not
there are
people.
countless clips of
And-
Kevin
and just,
screaming
like, a lot
exactly
of-
that on Compound Media.
Of course.
Kevin says it in
But who
fucking-
needs context?
Really disrespectful
Yeah.
things that were like not funny.
Really
at all.
disrespectful.
Not funny. Not true.
Yeah.
Just, you
It's
know,
not
and this-
true. Oh,
that's-
guys, it's not true. And okay, I have another
Crazy.
special guest, to give us a little bit more color to the situation on why this is particularly rich for Dante to call Compound Media white supremacist and racist. One of my favorites, coming to us slightly in the dark, but nonetheless fabulous. Mr. Gavin McInnes, hello.
Oh,
Hey, I can turn the lights on if you want. You want the lights on?
I prefer it in the dark. That's what she said. No, you're good. I mean, now I can't see you at all. As long as your pants are on, we're good. Okay, there we go. So, Gavin, why is this interesting from Dante? What is it about maybe his past that makes this a bit hypocritical?
His past? Well, the thing about Dante is he's a Brooklyn Black. And Brooklyn Blacks are mostly awesome dudes, but they have this persecution complex. I remember Dante saying to me once, he was like, yo, every day I get in my Jeep, I might die. I might never come back. Meanwhile, he's working at Verizon. He's got like a $100,000 Jeep and he's making 120 grand a year. You don't hear this from like Harlem Blacks. It's like a Spike Lee thing.
Qualify as a Harlem Black? He does live in Harlem.
Who?
Gino lives in Harlem.
I see more black people on my 5-minute walk to work. It's a 10-minute walk, but I run. You coloreds are fast.
Harlem Blacks and Brooklyn Blacks could not be more different. They're like Amish and Hasidic Jews. But Dante joined the Proud Boys. You got a neck tattoo of the Proud Boys. We got along so great. It was like he was the brother of the mother. And when his mother died, Proud Boys did a fundraiser for him. They raised $800 for him. I don't know why. The guy works at Verizon. He makes like $100 grand a year. Why are we trying to help him out? But he totally turned on the club because I think, like a lot of Brooklyn Blacks, he saw like edgy, Pepe jokes, and he was like, "Yo, they hate blacks," and that was the end of his, his relationship with the club, which was sad because they kind of worshipped him. If anything, they were kind of like politically correct. Like they called him the Pope. He was just a regular dude, a normal contributor, but they worshipped him.
And Dante joined the Proud Boys as it was intended in the beginning, when it was kind of a fun, lighthearted kind of men's social group.
Well, there was a contingent of that, right? So a lot of the New York hangouts was we can love Trump and be at a bar in a liberal city. And most Proud Boys chapters did really well in like LA, San Francisco, Baltimore, Chicago, places where you're not allowed to like Trump. But at the very, very beginning, not a big part of it, but like 20% of it was, these guys are fucking losers. They're not horny. They're not interested in getting girlfriends. This needs to be fixed. Black, white, Asian, Jew, like this needs to be fixed. And Dante has some great solutions to this problem. And one of them was, I love this, 5 bricks. So 5 times a day, you have to correspond with a female. Not like, yo, I want to fuck you. But like 5 times a day, you have to go like, hey, nice shirt. That's it. That's 1 brick. You completed that. And I that sounds ridiculous to anyone, especially Gen Xers who have game and, we fucked 100 chicks. But like millennials and Zoomers, they're like, whew, okay, that's a big task. That's quite an assignment, but here we go, boys. Wild ride. I will correspond with females 5 times today. And that's why I'm so mad at Dante, because like it was going great. And then he's like, no, you had a fucking Pepe joke and you called Michelle Obama a dude. I'm out.
Ugh.
Wow. Yeah. And so he's got this, I guess, advice podcast. I told Gino that I was on it once.
Is he here?
Gino? Yeah.
No, Dante.
Dante is not here. No, I didn't.
Oh, you know what's insane? I was so impressed with Dante's ability to shut his mouth and let me finish that entire point without interrupting me.
It's because he's not here. So Dante has Sarah on to talk about this moment from 2 years ago, to really just kind of virtue signal like, wow, Sarah, you're such a good ally. You're such a good friend of the Blacks for walking out while Gino was saying the N-word to someone about something that had nothing to do with you. And she goes on to say, I don't know why I'd be invited on this show. I didn't know it was a racist show. It's like, dude, that
Oh,
was
jeez.
5 minutes of like an hour plus long show. And the rest of it was fluffy. And we talked about like sex, dating, relationship, like our regular subjects. And
No, she acted like you're at like a Klan rally. Like, come on.
well, that's
dude.
exactly what she says. She actually compares it to
What?
me being invited on this
No.
show is like inviting a black person to a Klan rally.
Oh my
Literally what she
Oh
said in
my
this
God, did she
interview.
literally say that?
She literally said that. I want to see if it's coming up.
That's what you kind of get with, and I mean, I'm gonna say all the podcasts in that network
All of
is
the
kind
podcasts.
of leans that way. And I remember from the first M Mom, you were like, yeah, I could see it in your face. The
What a
comfort.
good ally you are, Sarah.
You know, I fully am aware that there's lots of different people in the world and we all don't think the same. And I'm not trying to like force anybody to feel the way that I feel about things. And you know what? More importantly,
up, whore.
everybody uses CBD. Whether you're
Okay.
racist
Are you
or whether you're
serious?
Republican or
No.
whether
What a
you're
plug. I love this.
Democrat,
What?
everybody uses CBD. So that's
Uh,
why I went on this show.
This is a
Right.
joke,
This is-
right?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
No,
like
she
You see
that.
what I'm
literally-
saying? Like
She seriously says that and plugs her CBD.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm
Right.
open to going on to shows that may not have the same views I have, regardless of what those views are. Because everybody uses CBD and my product is for
Oh
everyone.
God.
And but I
Why are you
also
watching
didn't find that it was
I wanted to
like,
get to the point where she
necessary.
compares
And also
being invited onto the show as inviting a black person to a Klan
fun.
rally.
and I can't
get to
really
that.
just sit there and
Right.
like
Just
entertain
being
it.
berated
Yeah,
for this,
yeah,
yeah.
no, I can't. Like I can't. You know?
Because then they'll know that you love that racist hater Kevin Brennan. Like,
He has a
I
show
got
at
to
2
tell you how
o'clock
much
that
I can.
Oh wow. It's one of my guests. But
And by the way, I applaud her because she didn't make a scene.
Oh, she didn't make a
curse
scene by
anybody
walking out?
She
That's
just
not a
got
scene?
Up and
Okay.
left. She didn't say.
Just not that I give a shit about any of this stuff, but didn't Gino call Kevin a hater?
I think lover.
Did he say
Actually, I
lover
said
or
lover.
hater?
I would. I wouldn't be redundant and say what he said.
Did you say lover or hater?
I said Kevin was a lover.
Okay, sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay.
Point
There we go.
to prove the
Don't do
point
that.
that's how
Don't do
Kevin
that. She
was
just
talking
got
at
up,
the bar.
said,
Yeah.
didn't say anything and just left, being, I'm not cool with this. That's
Here's
not
what I hate so much about leftists, and I only see it from leftists, is that like if you were on a show with, none of you would ever act this way, but like, Anna says something I don't agree with, so I have to immediately disassociate. This leftist idea that you have to agree and sign off with everything that everybody says on every fucking appearance you make, and if you don't immediately say disavow or walk off, someone's gonna come after you and cancel you, like this disgusting, like you. Like,
Are you
and
trying to
the
set
same
me
goes-
up, Chrissy?
No, the same goes for your
Because I just
colleagues
did this.
and like.
I was with the guy. I was debating the Jew, and my Jewish co-host said he would rather have Islam obliterated than he'd rather have a Catholicism obliterated than Islam. And I walked off the debate because I was like, well, why are we together?
I think that's different because it's a debate. I don't know. I'd have to watch.
No,
the whole
but
debate.
He wanted his opponent to be obliterated. So I was like, well, fuck you. I'm not with you anymore.
But do you guys get this too? Like, oh, I see you do a lot of podcasts with Lila Hart or Keanu or Gino, whoever, and they have this belief. Why don't you tell them this? Or if people perceive a difference in opinion between associates or colleagues, that needs to be a problem. It's like I don't have the fucking time.
You know
to
what it
keep
is?
up-
It's black privilege. It's black privilege. They have this even the term N-bomb. Like there's a word that is a nuclear explosion. The cracker, white boy, nothing explodes.
You forgot.
It's bad. Shouldn't
that
say
one?
it's rude to say WAP, but there's no bomb going off. But the N-bomb is like the worst thing you can fucking say, and everything Everything has to stop. Is the word. It's a rude racial epithet. It's not acceptable. You shouldn't say it. You shouldn't say you shouldn't say you shouldn't say a lot of bad. You shouldn't say cunt. You shouldn't say motherfucker to like a kid or an old lady. But for some reason in America, we have this culture where blacks get this get out of jail free card where they can behave incredibly badly. And if we criticize them, then we are racist. And that's the worst thing could possibly be.
I
And
mean, you
it's
can be white
retarded,
and
and I
say
think
it.
we've all had enough of it.
You can be white and say it if you're letting a black guy like fuck you on camera. I guess that's okay. Or if you're like a rapper, I don't know. Someone needs to give you a card or a pass, but
But it doesn't just happen on the left. Like it happens on the right all the time. They always ask you to like disavow certain people. Like when Kanye was running, they were like, you have to say something about Kanye. You just have to. It's like, why? I don't
Yeah,
owe
like
you people
why?
anything.
No.
Oh, Anna
Well,
Perez is here?
yes, it's Anna.
Hi.
I
Hi.
honestly think they try and get us to focus on these two words, the F word and the N word. They really do because
Wait, the F word?
and they want us to focus on these words, which you can say, you want to focus on them because if they have you convinced they're bad words and they have you convinced that fucking everyone hates and the people that try and convince us of this, I say this all the time, are the elites, are people like Joe Biden whose family owns slaves and he lives in a gated community and all this stuff. But people and it's really apparent at a comedy club when you look at that room with every race, every religion, and no one cares, but they want us to think we're the racists. And I honestly believe they do this. They frighten us of these old words that no one believes. I could see if it was the year after the Civil War when people were so dumb in the South that they'd be like, well, blacks are from monkeys and whites are from God. And God made the man in the sky. Keanu made man in his image, but gays are made wrong. I could see you being that fucking stupid. But now everyone, unless you're fucking, we're all from the same DNA, right? Not the DNA on your chin there, Anna. We're from the same DNA. That's semen. Never mind, didn't land. But my point is, they use that so when they say transphobe and anti-vax, you don't realize those are the most hateful words that exist right now.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad Gino and Gavin could jump on to give this context. And if you watch the whole clip, you can clearly see it's like, oh, well, these are her customers. It's not because she thinks it's right. It's just that she knows who butters her bread and who comes in her hair. So it's that doesn't make you holier than thou.
I remember driving with Dante to Anthony Cumia's studio on Long Island, and we were talking about black inventions, and he said, blacks invented the light bulb. And I go, no, dude, they did not invent the light bulb. The one dude applied for a patent for a filament on a light bulb to make it more efficient. And it wasn't a viable filament. Like, obviously, with a light bulb, it's all about the filament and what burns out. You want it to burn out for the longest time. And if you had, like, say, I don't know, a napkin, paper napkin, that burns out in 10 seconds. So that's not worthy. That's not a good filament. And then you get to, like, I don't know what they have now, copper or some shit. And he goes, so the guy who applied for this patent, he improved the light bulb. And I go, no, he didn't improve the light bulb. He hoped to improve the light bulb. And this is every argument I had with Dante. It was like him repeating unresearched tropes and me trying to explain that, like, no, dude, they didn't burn down Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was a race riot where a bunch of black dudes started a fight and white dudes had to finish it. That was it. It was a racial riot. It wasn't about they built, like, were they changing on the World Stock Exchange? Were they defining the value of the dollar? So my experience has been with smart, cool blacks, like I would classify him as that, is that they take these tropes, and the media's responsible for this too with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. They take these tropes and they ingest them, and it's almost like the beginning of Prometheus, where these morons like take it in and it becomes their being, and then it bleeds into the river. The thing that you're ingesting is not true, you fucking boobs.
It's
So
like their whole identity, and if you say something, and then you're like attacking their identity, and it's so
exactly,
bizarre.
it's possible that your identity is wrong.
Yeah,
You fucking moron.
and that shouldn't be your whole like you're a person yourself. You don't need these things like to be you or to be smart or a good person. Like it's just very weird.
And here's
Get
another
very
thing too.
offended.
I might be talking out of my ass right now, but I'm a big Trump guy. If I had found out that Trump was a pedophile and he worked with the cartels and he was using the cartels to like rig elections, I'd be like, well, fuck that guy. I now hate Trump.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think the left is like that. They'd be
No.
like,
There's
well,
nothing that could happen that would make them
you gotta, you know, you
Trump
gotta
line.
get
We'll
involved
protect
in
them to the
elections. Some
death, no
girls-
matter what.
Some young kids are slutty and
Yeah, they justify anything. All right, I'm gonna play this.
Mhm.
I really want to hear the moment where
I-
she
My
just,
vibe
like they
didn't say anything,
completely
just
forget.
left.
Yeah.
And still, that's not enough for those guys over
Those
there
guys.
because they're continue. I think Anthony, after the fact, was kind of trying to berate Sarah J. as who the hell is she? Like as if it's a crazy thing that she
Berate?
goes, I don't want to hear a dude just dropping N bombs recklessly, like she's an asshole
Yeah.
somehow. We're going, you know, I'd rather not listen to someone drop the N bomb incessantly.
Yeah, it's my choice. Just like speaking like that is your choice, and I don't have to be a witness to that.
sure,
You know, like
you
if I
can
was,
walk off,
if I was
but
flipping through
don't
the
expect us to
radio
not
or
call it
something, I
out.
would just like, or wherever, you know, I would just like turn it off. I wouldn't listen to it. I'm not going to listen to it in person
I don't
either.
care. It's a very rude
Right.
word.
Absolutely.
It's like cunt. It's like, oh, that guy has a dirty mouth.
Right?
It's also
like,
a
all
good
right,
mentality. Because rather than address what are you saying, and I'm like, look, this is why I'm saying it. This is my point. She's like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving because flat out I'm offended. Well, then just say it, but don't act like you were taking the high road and everyone else is just fucking.
I would have
sitting there
stayed and
like, well, I
argued with
allow
your
this kind
ass.
of-
Like,
right. And then it also makes like, well, now everyone who's still sitting here, you
Yep.
guys
Yeah.
support the N word, and you guys can you're all signing off on
Oh,
this,
yeah.
which is not
Like she should have
how
started
these-
berating you, and it would have been a good show, man. It would have been argument
It could have
and
been, yeah, funny.
And then
just
the
leave.
fact that, but this is the interesting thing about the mentality. The mentality is not, it's not good enough for me to just not want to deal with it. Now I want to make you do.
Somebody else have to sit through
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So
Make
it's like,
you
yeah,
deal
I
with
think
it.
people-
So Gino speaking his mind, saying what he wants to say, an inside joke with someone else. That is, they're literally equating that to, oh, I'm making you agree with me. I'm making you.
He wasn't holding her as hostage.
No, it had nothing to do with her. Like, it's okay
Nope,
if
the
the
whole
show is
point-
not about you for 10 minutes.
Who always talk about freedom and constitutional freedom. It's really not about. It's like I don't like it. Like, you know, a lot of times they'll be against gay marriage or this. Then you don't
He's
fucking
comparing to
do.
gay
Like you
marriage.
could just not. Fucking, it's real.
It seems so simple, right? Like
You don't want to let it do. You don't like trans people. Just don't suck a transsexual's dick. You can just not do that. It's
Doesn't he
really,
look like Jabba the Hutt if he just got a
Yeah.
job at a tattoo parlor?
like a potato.
I mean, I don't know if it's hard for them. I mean, I don't know if they're just running into places or running into like, oh, what am I gonna do again?
I will
You know,
say this
also
and then
you
I'll
have to take into
unclog this
consideration.
screen
I'm
here. Chrissy, I'll say this and I'll unclog.
Okay.
She walked out. The whole point was, if you go back and listen, I was literally saying all that because they said Gino walked out on the tab to start shit, and I said I walked out because Kevin started yelling all these things. I literally said the joke was Kevin was screaming racial slurs, so I walked out, and that's exactly what's what I'm looking for. This stupid brainless cunt did, but she
Mhm.
didn't get that was a joke because she has no sense of humor. That's the whole point.
Nope.
in their house and things happen by their rules. And this is not my show. And these are not my people.
Not
these are
my people?
friends,
Because
you
we're
know,
white?
So, I'm not gonna go into somebody else's house and like shit on all the things that they do either, even though I don't agree with them, you know? So there was-
How is Gino saying the N-word to someone on an inside joke, shitting on what she does? That it's taking something that has nothing to do with you and making it about you because you couldn't handle not having the spotlight for 10 minutes.
Really
was
just
so
nothing.
classy. I just thought
Thank
the
you.
way
I
you
appreciate it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just felt like there was just nothing for me to say, you know,
Yeah.
like,
You don't have
oh,
to say
you know, the
anything.
only thing for me to say is,
Yeah.
I think I might be on the wrong show. I'm so sorry.
Right. Right.
But
Well,
that
that
wouldn't have been enough for them.
Had
That
she
was-
done
Yeah.
Because
Wait.
I think you did everything because there's nothing you can do at that point. It's just nonsense. It's nonsensical. You're also there to promote a product. Like I don't want to be associated with a
pussy.
guy dropping
Yes.
M-bombs.
This
And I don't. This does nothing to
I
help
don't
me.
know
That
that
does
is.
nothing for my demographic. I
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable. I'm out.
You know,
I'm
the
out.
other
my God,
concern
wow.
with me is that why was I invited?
Oh, here we
there
go.
At this point,
Here,
like if you knew that this was going to be part of your program,
No
for the
one knew.
day, why would you include me?
No one
on
knew
this
that
particular-
Gino called in. It was not, you don't pre-plan the callers. He randomly called
Didn't
in.
you say- when I hung up, didn't you say, there's Gino with his weekly wacky call? Come on.
Right. It's not the
Something.
Gino call of the week.
No, she
Yeah.
has to know if anyone has ever said the N word in that studio at any time before she enters. So
Yeah.
if that word was used there, then she can't be in there.
You did not give me a
Ever.
rundown of the entire show.
Well, and
How
didn't
dare
somebody
you.
ask you, is this normal? And you said no. Did I not?
No, I made a joke. I said usually the slurs happen between 2 and 4. Or something like that. Who fucking cares?
Wait a minute.
Okay, so let me. So I'm let's unwrap that a little bit. Like,
Right.
so what I'm saying is that their assumption was that you're a white girl, yes?
I am.
Okay. So the assumption was like this white girl would be down with this. Is that what you're
The
saying?
assumption is a white girl be down with it. No, not everyone is thinking about you at every turn. Not every
No.
moment of the show has to do with you in particular, Sarah J. Jesus fuck.
That is not what I'm saying, actually, because it's almost the opposite of what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that this is the way it is, but you have to question it because of who I am. I've made a career out of like not
Saying the N-word.
having any kind of like discrimination with the type of people that I have sex with.
Absolutely.
I've got an award, much to my dismay of the title of the award. The
She
award is
doesn't.
Best
She doesn't like that she does interracial scenes, but her award was called Best Interracial
Interracial
Performer.
performer.
Okay.
Like I think it's been known.
What did you
that-
want? Did you want a Nobel Peace Prize instead? Is that the prize you wanted? A Nobel
Imagine
Peace Prize?
just like
that
getting an award for something you chose to do on your
That you're-
platform. Just like,
that
wow.
you wake up every
Mhm.
day and continue to do. Oh no. Okay, I don't know. Gavin got kicked out, but he's back now. All right, let me play this.
my
one more.
fan base includes a very diverse group of people.
Yeah.
Am I
So
So
back
you
now?
why
think
would
maybe,
back.
perhaps?
Creeps of
You
every
Can I
color.
comment?
You know what? I can't.
Yes.
The elephant in the room here is IQ. We're talking to a porn star and a random black dude from Brooklyn. They both have IQs under 100. And we are all IQs probably over 110. Not a big gap, but
Huh?
to pretend that like their logic applies to our logic, these people like are not in the same universe as us. This sounds terrible. I shouldn't be saying it, but
Say it.
like
Well,
It's-
I'm not. My show is not known for having mental giants on, so and that's fine.
the logic doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't.
It does for me though. And I agree with Leanne. To me, anytime something comes up I don't like, the maturity inside of me is so high that I'm able to gracefully share, hey, I've got to go, or thank you so much, or whatever the thing is. It's not complicated, but it really comes down to frequency. And some people could call it IQ, you could call it whatever, but honestly, it is impossible for frequencies that are completely opposite or different to be in the same room. They have to scatter. It has to
We should
happen.
also talk about like Dante had a great life. His dad was around. His dad didn't abandon him. His dad was like a basketball dude who would help the local kids. In fact, his dad was so devoted to the community that he didn't spend as much time with Dante as he could, as he should have. But porn stars have been fucked by their uncle. They've had a horrific life, and
Favorite
we should just look at them and pat them on the head and say that was horrible. We should give them a room, almost like Jesus. We should give them a room in our house. We should feed them soup. Porn stars have been savagely abused. And that is why, if you watch porn, you are watching the victim of child molestation take meth to avoid the memories of child molestation and fuck random dudes to make $800 a day. So if you watch porn, you're a bad person. And so these two people are pretty separate. There's like a random whiny black dude who was kind of spoiled his whole life. And then there's this, I assume, victim of molestation who I assume has been addicted to meth and fucked 1 million guys. Like, that's fucking sad.
That's
So
crazy.
Dante should be told to fuck off. And this woman should be like brought inside and given some soup.
Soup.
Some
Can't, I
Well,
can't like
something tells me that's not the warm liquid that she consumes most frequently.
eat away and like think it's I can't eat away and like think like that, but I can't say that it like didn't cross my mind. And regardless, I wasn't gonna feed into it. You
So
know,
you
I'm like,
say
why
because
was
the
I
way-
invited here? It would be like me being no, I don't want to say
Here we
this,
go.
but it'd be like, you know, somebody of color being invited to a KKK rally. Like, why would you do that?
Wow.
Yeah,
Why,
yeah.
what would you don't have good intentions? Is what you're saying? It's possible that they did.
And look, it's like
That is dumb.
it's not like when you work on a network like Compound or whatever, you get to know people who are PR folks, people who have clients that they it's not like I was like, please Sarah J, please come on the show, I must have you on. It's like
Yeah.
she's an example of somebody that like I had at the time a good relationship with her publicist, and the publicist would throw me a guest here or there, and I'm like, sure, I'll fit her in. People got stuff to promote, please. I have 3+ guests on every time I have room. So she makes it sound like, why would you invite me here? It's like, no, you're here to promote your business yourself.
She's a
Um,
retard.
Get off your high horse. Nobody knew this call was going to happen. It's not like I was beating down your door. Please, I need you on the show. I can't go on. unless you
Yeah.
grace us with your presence. But yeah, but it's like inviting a black person to a Klan rally.
Yeah,
Sure.
totally the same. Exactly
Any
like
mention
that.
of the Klan is a super low IQ thing to do. If you hear someone mention the Klan, actually in any context at all, and that
Mhm.
includes right wingers, just like peace them out. We're done. Fuck you. I'm not talking to you anymore. You're retarded.
Well,
I
it's like
think
this hall monitor attitude where it's like they have to go out of their way to disavow this and make sure that
Mhm.
everybody knows that they're not just not racist, but they're anti-racist and that they're willing to
Yeah.
fight against this. Like,
Yeah, and
they
they're
have
such
to
good
be, like,
people.
yeah, they have to.
They're
call
not
it
like
out.
those other people.
Yeah.
And I
They're
know, I
fighting.
think in this clip, Dante also threatens you, Gino. I don't know if you listened to it. I don't know if you remember when it is, but
No, what did he
Yeah,
say?
I felt like it was for entertainment purposes. To be honest with you, I was like, did you guys invite me here for your own entertainment? Like, what was that about?
Right. Well,
Not
I think the
entertaining.
problem
Did
is
you just wanted to see what I was gonna do?
Maybe they
exactly,
want
it's
to get you
all
to
about
storm
her.
off,
Oh, it's about
possibly,
me.
but
What
don't
was
think
I
they
going to
put-
do? You were looking for my reaction. No, no one was thinking about you.
I don't think they put that much thought into it over there.
No,
I
think,
would like to hope not.
yeah, I think that is so chaotic. I don't think Chrissy Mayer,
Yeah.
not to defend her, I don't know her
Yeah.
that
Please
well,
don't
but
defend me.
the idea is Gino Bisconte is a reckless person.
Reckless.
douchebag.
Yeah.
I'll go on record.
Yeah.
He's a douchebag. I've had conversations. I've known him 20 years. I've had conversations with him to the point where I said, if you say something crazy, I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. I've said
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
Never
in,
said
you
that.
know,
We've had
face to
nothing
face.
but genuine
And so
conversation.
a lot of it, I don't even.
But he said he would punch you in the mouth, Gino, if you said the wrong thing.
Yeah. Because now he wants to make it look like this is, again, we lived in the same neighborhood. This is how people change the narrative, and you lie to yourself. Like, we literally lived in the same neighborhood. We'd be doing shows at fucking the Boston or Comedy Village, and then he'd be like, hey, I'll wait for you, drive you home. We would just bullshit. We'd bullshit sometimes for half an hour. But now he's like, he was in my car, and I'm like, if you keep talking like this after I drive you home, I'm gonna fucking stop it. Stop it. Just own who you are
Yeah.
and handle your shit.
But he's a fucking race baiter. They kind of both are, because this is your thumbnail.
This happened 2
Sarah
years
J
ago, didn't it?
walks off racist. This happened 2 years ago, but this is his thumbnail. That my podcast is a racist podcast because of that 5 minutes. That 5
I'm
minute
just
phone call that had
guessing it
nothing to do
wasn't
with her.
working out for him, so he has to go the SJW route. So now he's gonna
Yeah.
be like defending everyone and everyone's racist to, get into that crowd. So maybe they'll notice him and something more can happen with his career. I feel like that happens a lot with some people. It's like didn't work out being themselves. So like, you know what? I'll just pretend like I'm on the left and I'll just
They
say
have
all
to
this
be
shit and
allies.
maybe I'll
Yeah.
get famous.
They have to ally so hard
Yeah.
that they're relevant
Which it'll
again.
never work out because they will always eat each other. Like the woke eat each other. Like any little thing you do, like they
Looks
will
like he
fucking
already
pounce on
did.
you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This
Sorry,
is
Leah.
the and there's a part 2, I guess, coming out. Yes,
Oh,
he doesn't even have the balls to spell out the word
yeah, I
word
know.
adult
What?
in his description.
I do like being called a simpleton. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie to
my
you.
lord.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's dingbat
I
and
like how he
simpleton
dropped
are funny
Anthony's
words.
name too in it. He had to put Anthony Cumia compound.
Yes, and I'm sure all of our names are in his SEO so that his
Yeah.
clips will do better. But we're the terrible people. Really? You know who's well, maybe this episode I'll put Dante's name in, but I'm not falling all over myself to mention him. I haven't even thought about him in years. Same thing with Sarah. And it's just like, oh, but we're such terrible people. But you'll use us for clickbait on your
Does he
on
still
your
have that
fucking
tattoo, the
Facebook.
Proud Boy one, or did he get rid of it? Or is it still there?
I believe he got it removed. My sources tell me that
course.
he got it removed.
Mm.
So I don't know. I know we spent a few more minutes on that than I planned, but it just boils my blood. And it was 2 years ago. My
Yeah,
God,
that's
he hasn't
so
done anything
crazy.
interesting in 2 years.
Clearly not.
I guess not.
She's still milking it, man. Like she's
She
like
is.
that's her thing now.
Maybe she needs it because she needs the publicity for her CBD business. Maybe it's not going so well.
I really cannot believe that she
Oh,
brought
yeah.
that up like out of nowhere. Like she
Just
kept
out of
doing it. Like,
nowhere.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so weird. That's so awkward. Like there's no shame clearly with her, but still,
She
like
should
that was so
create
weird.
a new strain of CBD called White Supreme, and she could market it directly to us all. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.